Saving America one entrepreneur at a time, it's the Biz Wrap Podcast with your host, Michael Manahan. The show that celebrates small business and entrepreneurs, it's Biz Wrap Radio with your host, small businessman, educator, and author, Michael Manahan. Welcome to another edition of Biz Wrap Radio. It's your host, Michael Manahan, and thank you so much for joining me today. As always, we've got an absolutely fabulous show lined up for you here today. If you're new to Biz Wrap Radio, we are the show all about small business and entrepreneurs. We're here to help you, the small business people, the entrepreneurs of America, do what we need you to do to get this economy back rolling, to get people employed. You know, most people in the U.S. Work for small businesses. As we pull out of the recession, most new jobs are created by small business. Yeah, that's not what the government tells you. You know, the government tells you it's busy creating jobs and the big corporations are busy creating jobs. Well, just take a look at those big corporations. Read the Wall Street Journal. They lay off people, and when they lay off people, it's not, well, let's let go one or two staff members. It's like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people at a time. And the slack is being picked up by the small businesses and the entrepreneurs. Yet, you know, when the economy softens a little bit, is the government doing anything to help small businesses? No, they're bailing out the fat cats on Wall Street, and they're bailing out the big corporations. You know, they give all this money to these fat cats on Wall Street. They declare themselves bonuses. They take $5, $10, $15, $20 million bonuses from taxpayer money. And meanwhile, in my neighborhood, the small businesses are barely able to survive. A lot of times small business owners are working. They skip paychecks. They run up their credit cards to keep their employees on the payroll, and everything the government does seems to interfere and get in the way of the small business people doing what they need to do, which is create wealth for themselves, make profits. Yeah, I know it's a dirty word out there, profits, but it's not really. It's what you need to do as a small business person. Don't be ashamed of it. Make a good, healthy profit in your business. Then take care of you, your family, take care of your employees. And finally, take care of your community. And I see so many small business people engaged in their community, whether it's working with charitable organizations, whether it's sponsoring the local Little League or the local football team, or whether it's sitting on the local Chamber of Commerce, or even sitting on some committee free of charge at the local city level to help the community. And that's what small business people do. We're doing it all across America, and we need more of you to do it if we're going to save this greatest country we have here, the United States of America. Well, now on to what the show is all about today. You know, we try and feature guests on the show who can help small businesses and entrepreneurs, who have ideas that can make your life easier as an entrepreneur or a small business person, or maybe just help you be a little more creative with your business. And I think our guest today can really help you do that. Our guest today is Gail Brown. She's the president, co-founder of Engaging Speakers. And Gail believes that everyone has a powerful message to share with the world. And she brings 40-plus years experience as a top trainer, an entrepreneur in hospitality and network marketing. Her combination of passion and business acumen uniquely suits her to teach how any business owner can establish themselves as an expert in their field through public speaking, communicating a heart-centered message that get results. Wow, that sounds powerful. Gail, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of it, Mike.
So talk to me a little bit more about Engaging Speakers. What exactly does Engaging Speakers do?
Well, Engaging Speakers helps business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals learn how to build a speaking business that supports their core business. It's a great way for you to then learn how to market your business in a different way.
So really the concept here is that you have somebody who's, I'm just going to pull a business out of my hat here. I'm a professor of accounting and finance at California State University, and so I know a lot of accountants. And so you've got a guy who, for instance, runs a little small accounting practice. He does some bookkeeping for some companies, and he maybe does a few tax returns. So he would become a speaker as a way of promoting his little accounting and tax business. Is that kind of the idea?
That's exactly right. It's an opportunity for them to really learn what they need, the skills that they need to learn in order for them to really promote their business in a way that's a little bit different than everyone else who does what they do.
Well, that's very interesting. I had a gentleman on, a few months back who had a similar concept, but his concept wasn't that you become a speaker. It was that you write a book. But, let's face it, not all of us can sit down and crank out 150 or 200 pages on a topic. But a lot of us could very easily talk for 10 or 15 minutes on a subject that we're passionate about. So, but how do you become a speaker? I mean, what skills do you need? How do you develop yourself for being a speaker?
Well, first of all, I think it takes making a decision to be a speaker. I think that like in business, we have to start by making that decision and deciding that we'll get the skills, that we can look for and gain the skills in order to be a speaker. The second thing that I think about is that you need to blend this speaking with your overall brand strategy. That way you can promote a consistent image in the marketplace.
That got me a little confused. I mean, what do you mean by that? Can you give me an example?
Sure. First of all, when you begin and you decide you're going to use speaking as a way to market your business, you make that decision and you let people know, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, and I'd love your help in sharing what I have to share with others.
Okay. So now I'm thinking about this. Okay, I make the decision. I'm going to be a speaker, and I start to talk to maybe some of my existing customers. Maybe I put something up on my website. But how do you actually go about getting a speaking engagement? How do you find somebody that would want you to come out and talk to their group?
Well, this is something that I really love to talk to people about. Is what we've built within Engaging Speakers is a network of speakers and meeting planners and people who are not only looking for speaking engagements, but also people who are looking for great speakers for their audience. So we teach them how to network for speaking engagements, meaning that we provide a platform for them to connect. Now, the beauty of the way it's done in anyone's business is that you look around and see who your target audience is, who are the people that you want to serve with your speaking, and then find out what it is that's keeping them up at night, and then what you have, what your skills are, and what your expertise is, and how you can solve that problem for them. And then you target those audiences and find out where they hang out.
Oh, okay.
That's an opportunity for you to then put yourself in front of that audience.
Gotcha. So now, but you mentioned engaging speakers. That your website is engagingspeakers.com?
Correct.
And so if somebody goes there, so you have an actual platform they could register on your site as a speaker and put in, say, their area of expertise?
Exactly. We are a membership organization, and as a member, you get, as a professional member, you get an opportunity to have a full page on our website that has your bio and video and your contact information, your speaking topics, your testimonials, and then we link it to your website to drive traffic to you.
Wow, that's really neat. Now, I'm presuming you charge for this service.
Yes, we do.
Okay, and do you mind telling us how much it actually costs?
Well, for our professional member, that is a $200 one-time enrollment fee, and then we have a $39.95 per month dues, and that is an ongoing thing.
Okay, well, in the scheme of things, I mean, I'm thinking if let's just go back to my example. If I'm running a little accounting practice, a few $100s, and it doesn't seem like a lot of money to market my business. I mean, if I go out and I produce some flyers and have them distributed, or I put an ad in the local little newspaper. I mean, it's going to cost probably a lot more than that. So this is really an interesting kind of method of promoting and marketing yourself. Now, Gail, we're 30 seconds here from commercial break. So just once again, I want to remind the listeners, we're speaking with Gail Brown. She is the founder and president of Engaging Speakers, and we're talking about how you can help promote your business by becoming, I guess we could say, an engaging speaker on your area of expertise. Gail, I'm hoping you can stick with us for another segment.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Okay, it's Biz Rap Radio, your host Mike Manahan, and we will be back right after these messages. And welcome back to Biz Rap Radio. It's your host, Michael Manahan. Thank you so much for being with us today. And if you just joined us, we are the show all about small business and entrepreneurs. We are talking with Gail Brown. She's the president, co-founder, Engaging Speakers, and we're talking about how you can help market your business by becoming literally an engaging speaker. That's being a speaker and talking about your area of expertise. And Gail, thanks again for being on the show today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Mike.
So we've talked about your website. It's engagingspeakers.com. Somebody who's interested can go to that website and register, and it's a way of hooking up potentially with people who are looking for speakers. But, Gail, do you have any services that can help somebody to develop their speaking abilities?
Yes, actually, we have another membership besides our professional membership, and that's what we call our standard membership. And that is for someone who's just kind of breaking into the speaking arena, and they need some help around putting together their speeches, on putting together their speaker kit and the things that they'll need in order to be able to market their business. So we have that as an entry-level membership as well. And the beauty of what we do that's a little bit different is we have a team of mentors, and these are all people who are very experienced in their area of expertise, be it someone who helps you with speaking skills, someone helps you to negotiate your speaking fees, someone helps you write your book, another person tells you how to promote yourself as a speaker on social media. We have a team of 14 mentors, and each and every one of our members gets an hour of coaching with each of those mentors as part of their membership.
And how much does that membership cost?
That one is the $200 enrollment and $29.95 per month. Wow!
So and for that little bit of money, you can get, you said, an hour with each of 14 experts?
Yes. Exactly.
That is such huge value. That is amazing. That's like 14 hours of people who probably charge, I don't know, $500 an hour for their services, or maybe even more than that. That is incredible. So this, because I know people listening are saying, oh, it sounds like a great idea, but I have no idea how to be a speaker, what exactly to talk about, how to craft a good speech, because you've probably experienced this, Gail. You've gone to, I don't know, a conference. I just went to a conference, American Accounting Association, and there was a gentleman up there giving a talk on online teaching. He was dreadful, and he droned on for 2 hours, and with useless information. Everybody was on their cell phones or their laptops, completely ignoring the poor guy, and I felt bad for him. But with these experts, people can actually refine and learn how to do this craft, I guess you'd call it, of giving a good speech.
Absolutely. That's the thing that we have. The mentors that we have are people who have coached some of the top speakers in the world, And you'll see these people on major network TV and on top radio shows, and these are people who have donated their time in order for them to help those coming up into the speaking arena. And it's pretty powerful to see what happens with speakers who just come in and they're barely able to do a 30-second infomercial about their business, and within 6 months they are standing on stages and getting standing ovations. So it's really exciting to see what happens when you're given the right tools in order for you to communicate the message that the world needs to hear from you.
Wow, that is amazing, powerful. What a great idea. And what a great way to differentiate yourself from the competition, because the reality is I don't know, if there's 1,000 accountants, and there's probably not, but if there were 1,000 accountants listening to the show today, probably 5 or 6 would bother to do what we're talking about. So you could very quickly really differentiate yourself from the competition, other people doing what you're doing, because you are a speaker. The competition, they're not speakers. People are going to naturally gravitate to you. Gail, I find that doing a radio show. I have my own consulting practice. And I'm sure there's lots of other consultants who can help you with your business. I do, business plans, projections. I help people in turnaround situations, help people raise money, interim and part-time CFO type work. But when I tell people, hey, look, I do a radio show, all of a sudden I've differentiated myself from the competition. So in the same way, if you were able to tell somebody, hey, I'm a speaker, you're going to differentiate yourself from the competition.
You absolutely are, and it's so powerful. When an organization or a company puts you in front of their audience, you have the instant expert tag on you now. And what happens is people get a feel for who you are as a person, and because we all know that we buy the person, we don't buy necessarily what they have to sell. First of all, you have to build that trust. And being in front of an audience and giving a great presentation and giving them wonderful content that they can take and apply to their business immediately, what happens usually is after you present, there'll be a line of people who want to talk to you about how they can engage you to help them in their business. So it's a wonderful way for you to differentiate yourself, but also to give people an idea of what you have to offer.
It just makes so much sense, because you're right. I like the phrase. What did you say? You buy the person, or how did you phrase that? I just thought you did it very well.
I believe that you buy the person before you decide to be a client of theirs. You have to build that trust, and being able to really get in front of an audience and tell them who you are does that for you.
Right. So all of a sudden, before there's any sales pitch, you've had an opportunity to get to know this individual, because typically a speaker, their personality comes out. You can start to tell, if they talk for 20 minutes, that you can start to tell what kind of a character this person has through his or her stories, and their kind of opinions about things and what they're willing to share. So, yeah, you're right. I never thought about that, but really, you listen to a speaker, and you start to develop a rapport with that individual. Much more likely, when you're ready to hire somebody, you're going to hire that person because you almost feel like you know them. It's kind of like. I think I've heard actors say this, that people watch a television show and they get so attached to the character, they feel like they know the character, and then they come up and meet the actor, at some restaurant in Hollywood or something, and they actually think they're talking to that particular character and like they're friends. So you've developed this deep attachment.
Absolutely. It really is amazing to me when I watch how your story is a perfect example of the accountant who gave that droning presentation. it's not likely that too many people wanted to hire him after that, which is unfortunate, not only for the fact that he was not hired, probably wouldn't be hired for another speaking engagement, but he also did not connect with the audience the way that you need to in order for them to want to be a part of your life, of your business.
Absolutely. Well, look, Gail, we are coming up at the end of this segment. We've got about 30 seconds left here, but this is great stuff. We're talking with Gail Brown, president, co-founder, Engaging Speakers. We're talking about how you can become a speaker and use that as an effective method of promoting your business, and it's a great idea. You can go to EngagingSpeakers.com, find out more. This, of course, Biz Rap Radio. I am your host, Michael Manahan. And we're going to be back with more of Gail Brown and Engaging Speakers right after these messages. And welcome back to Biz Rap Radio. It's your host, Michael Manahan, and thank you again for joining me today. If you just tuned into the show, we are speaking with Gail Brown, president and co-founder of Engaging Speakers. You can find them at EngagingSpeakers.com, and we're talking to Gail about how you can become a speaker in your area of expertise and use it as a great way of marketing your business. And Gail, once again, thank you for being with me today.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about your website and where people can actually register on your website to connect with potential speaking engagements. We also talked about some of the services on your website. You could, you have a service where if I register, I can get 14 hours with different experts to help guide me in the process of developing my skills as a speaker. But I also understand you have some events that are happening, and somebody who's interested in using this as a tool to market their business might very well be advised to attend some of your events. So tell us more about your events.
Well, we have webinars going on every month that are an opportunity for people to not only learn from a skilled speaker, but also to connect with each other, because part of the call is that we have everyone introduce who they are and what they speak about, and we help make connections with each other in that regard. We also have live events, and we have 4 in the Chicagoland area, but the exciting thing is we're expanding nationally, and we are starting some chapters in different parts of the country where you can attend a live event and then network with other speakers and with other meeting planners and have an opportunity to really learn from 2 of our professional members at each of the meetings. We do have a big event coming up, which is Saturday, October 3rd in the Chicagoland area, and it is a boot camp. We have Boot Camp 5 coming up, and we are flying in expert speakers, and they are coming in to teach the attendees exactly how to put together a speaking business that will support their core business. So we're pretty excited about that, and you can find information on our website about it, and we'd love to have you join us.
That sounds like an amazing, what would you call it, event. I'd love to come out for something like that. That just seems so valuable. I mean, one of the things I would like to do, and even though I have a radio show, I do the occasional, guest speaker thing, but I haven't really developed that side of the business. And I realize it's a different discipline. Radio show is not being a speaker. I'm fortunate because as a radio show, I've got engaging people like you on the radio with me, so I don't have to do all of the entertaining, if you will. My guests on the show share the burden with me. But I'm almost thinking that I'm going to go to your site and register because I would like to enhance my radio show and my consulting business through doing more speaking engagements. So that just sounds wonderful. Okay, so let's say somebody's listening out there. Can you give us a ballpark on the cost for attending that boot camp in Chicago?
Yes, the boot camp as a member is $199, and then as a non-member, it's $299, and we also have an option where you can join as a member, come at the member price, and then that would take care of also your enrollment fee. And then you can sign up for whatever level of membership that you would like to start at.
So hang on, you're telling me it's going to cost me $199 to get a whole day workshop on how to be a speaker?
Absolutely. That's as a member, and $299 as a non-member. That is the bargain of the century, I believe. And we are also excited to say that after the boot camp, we have a wonderful networking event where you can connect with meeting planners and other speakers and just work on making the connections and building the relationships that you need to in order to get speaking gigs.
Wow, that sounds incredible. I mean, you can't get anything for $199 today. I can barely go to dinner for $199. Particularly in Chicago. I was just back in Chicago at the American Accounting Association, stayed at the Hyatt Regency there, and I'll tell you, a glass of wine at the bar is like $16. It was incredible. Well, that's tremendous. So go to engagingspeakers.com, check it out, register to be a member, to find speaking engagements. You can also get resources on how to develop your speaking business. And if you're serious about this, hop on a plane and go to Chicago. Who doesn't want to spend a couple of days in Chicago? It's a great city. And October, it's not too cold in Chicago yet, right? It'll still be fairly pleasant weather.
Absolutely.
Okay, fabulous. Okay, so Gail, now let's talk a little bit about your background. How did you get into this business, and what prompted you to found Engaging Speakers?
Well, I was speaking for my wellness business. I had done a lot of training in both the restaurant and network marketing industries, and I loved it. I loved being able to help business owners, new people breaking into the business, learn how to communicate their message well and how to really find out the needs of their clients or potential clients and then work on solving them. We all need to communicate in every business that we are. We need to communicate in life with our family. And so it became an extension of that. And back in 2003, I was speaking for my wellness business, and I kept running into other people that I networked with who were also speaking. And I thought, why don't we market ourselves collectively to be a resource for meeting planners and event planners and program directors who are looking for quality speakers? On the other side of the spectrum, my mother was a program director for a large seniors group of over 200 people, and she had to come up with a speaker every other week. And it was a huge task for her, and she'd have people who would come as a speaker. They were recommended by someone, and it would be a big sales pitch, or they would be trying to convince people to do something that they didn't necessarily want to do. And they weren't there to educate and inspire. They were there to sell. And so she also had people who she would hire, and then they would back out at the last minute. So I became the substitute speaker for that organization. Every single time she'd be in a pinch, she'd call me, and I'd go and present. And I was very well received because my intent was to educate and inspire and to help them with the things that were on their mind. So I saw a need on both sides of the spectrum. Great speakers needed great audiences, and great audiences needed great speakers. So that's how it began back in 2003, and we have developed since then. It's been 12 years, And we love helping entrepreneurs and business owners really learn how to communicate that message. And we run into so many people who have incredible ideas and have wonderful products or services that the world needs. But all they need to know is the skills that they need in order for them to get in front of those audiences and solve their problems.
Well, that's a great story. So you are not only a speaking expert, but you're an entrepreneur. You're just like many of the people listening. You had an idea, you got together with some colleagues, and you created a business that is out there helping other businesses. And so you're an entrepreneurial success story yourself.
Absolutely. I love being in this arena because it really, small business and entrepreneurs are really steering what is going on in the United States right now. And I believe that we have to help each other. It has to be a spirit of cooperation as opposed to competition. We're all in this together, and I think if we lend our skills and our resources to each other, I think that we will all be far better off.
Well, that's a fabulous message, and Gail, I couldn't agree with you more. We need to support each other as small business people. We need to work together. We're coming to the end of the segment, so Gail, we're going to have to say goodbye. But once again, it's Gail Brown, President, Co-founder, Engaging Speakers. Check out the website, EngagingSpeakers.com. You really do need to think about developing your expertise as a speaker in order to market your business. Gail, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, it was my pleasure, Mike. Thanks so much for inviting me to be a part of it.
Not a problem. It's Mike Manahan, Biz Rap Radio. We'll be back right after these messages. And welcome back to Biz Rap Radio. It's your host, Michael Manahan, and thank you so much for joining me today. If you just joined the show, if you missed the first segments, we were talking to Gail Brown, and Gail was teaching us how we can become speaking experts as a way of promoting our business. Yes, that's a way to differentiate you from your competitors. Become a speaking expert. Go out and give talks. There's many organizations looking for speakers, chambers of commerce, the Rotary Club, and the list goes on and on and on. And you can go to Gail's website. You can register to be a speaker, and you can also get training on how to be a speaker. It sounds like a really great deal, so check it out. Well, it's Biz Rap Radio, of course. I'm your host, Michael Manahan, and we are the show all about small business and entrepreneurs. And I found a very interesting website that is dedicated to small businesses, and it's called Small Biz Daily, smallbizdaily.com. And, you know, I always talk about the significant impact that small businesses have on the U.S. economy, how we really are a driving force for U.S. economic growth. And sure enough, this article on smallbusinessdaily.com says that almost half of all U.S. jobs are held in companies of fewer than 500 employees. Small businesses produce 16 times more patents per employee than larger firms. 54% of all U.S. sales happen at small businesses, and small businesses donate 250% more than larger businesses to nonprofits and community causes. So that is unbelievable, the impact that small businesses have on our economy. And yet, as I've talked about before, what happens when there's an economic downturn? What happens when there is a problem in the economy? Well, I can tell you what happens. The government is squandering money, bailing out the fat cats on Wall Street, bailing out big, inefficiently run corporations that really should die it's time for them to die and be renewed as many other smaller enterprises. I remember when they bailed out General Motors, the government was so proud of itself saving all of these jobs. Well, if General Motors went out of business, it would have been reorganized in the public's the way companies are reorganized in the private sector. It would have gone through a bankruptcy. It probably would have sold off divisions. And entrepreneurs, many with cash, would have purchased some of those factories, some of those facilities. Somebody might have purchased a bearing factory. Somebody else might have purchased a factory that manufactures seals. And these entrepreneurs running those individual component parts of a company like General Motors, of course, there's a very good chance they would run them more efficiently, more effectively. They might even be able to drive down the cost, because you take an organization like General Motors, it's very bloated. You've got it almost gets to the stage where it's kind of like the government. It's bureaucratic. They've got too many layers of management, and they lack the efficiency and the responsiveness that small organizations and small companies have. But I want to turn the conversation just a little bit, because I was reading a post on an online blog, and this poster was quite mad at our government and at all of the big businesses for shipping jobs overseas. And this poster wanted the government to enact rules and regulations that would penalize U.S. businesses for shipping jobs overseas. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, our U.S. government is penalizing businesses left, right, and center for all manner of things as it is. But if you don't like the fact that companies ship jobs overseas, then there's a couple of things you should do. The first one is stop voting for politicians who are at war with the business community and who think that the answer to every solution is another tax, another fine, another regulation, and if we could only just get businesses to contribute more, then our problems would be solved. Because what you're really doing is you're causing those businesses to move operations offshore and to other countries. But the second thing you can do is put your money where your mouth is. I mean, you're a consumer. Are you consuming U.S.-made goods? And I had a big discussion with an associate of mine. He said, you can't find anything made in the United States. Everything's made in China. Well, you know something? That's not true. All you need to do is you just Google Made in America. There are dozens and dozens of websites, and there are literally thousands of companies that make products right here in America. Now, you know something? You might have to pay just a few pennies more for those products. Yeah, that's why companies ship jobs overseas, is so they can bring you a product at a less expensive price. But here's the deal. Rather than the government forcing businesses to bring those jobs back here, why don't you bring those jobs back here by buying American? Why don't you take a little bit of your money, pay a little bit more for your products, and help American companies and American workers? Why is it that all the squawking is we need the government to do something about this? We have 330 million people in the United States of America, give or take. All of them are consumers of some product or another, whether they're infants or whether they're 100 years old. They're eating, they're wearing clothes, they're in beds, they're listening to entertainment. How about you start diverting some of the money you spend every single day of the week and start spending it on products and services right here in America? You know, next time you need a pair of jeans, I know there's half a dozen companies who manufacture, good old denim jeans right here in the United States of America. Google it. Denim jeans made in America. You can find these products. You shouldn't be, on the one hand, asking our government to penalize businesses who ship jobs overseas, and then the first thing you're doing is you're running off down to Walmart to buy the cheapest Chinese crap you can possibly find. Focus on purchasing products and services right here in America. And by the way, that's particularly true when you're buying gifts for other people. You know, some of the greatest gifts you can give people are made right here in America. How about giving somebody a nice bottle of Cabernet wine? Made right here in California in the Napa Valley. Give a six-pack of craft beer or a dozen craft beers made all over the United States. Craft beer industry is booming. How about a gift card to a local restaurant? And by the way, I'm not talking about one of those chain restaurants that's got 30,000 locations, but how about seeking out a locally run restaurant that maybe has one location in your community, or maybe it's got a couple of locations in your community, and get a gift card for that restaurant. Almost every dollar it goes right here in America. All of the staff get paid. They're all Americans. The food, most of it is purchased here in the United States. So think about where you're spending your money and what you can do differently, rather than asking the government to put in more rules and regulations. How about let your own pocketbook do the talking? How about you go out there and seek out American-made products and services, and you spend your money on those? Yes, it may take you a little extra time to find those companies, and it may take a few dollars more than what you're currently spending. But boy, think of the results. Think of the results if we could just convert 10% of what we're spending every single day from foreign-made products and services to domestically made products and services. Huge impact on the U.S. economy, put a lot more people to work, and I think we'd feel a lot better about it than just asking our politicians to force more regulations down the throat of the people who are driving the economy of this United States of America. Well, that's it for Biz Rap Radio. I do thank you very much for listening today. And at Biz Rap Radio, we believe we can fix the United States of America through a fundamental concept that individuals pursuing their own economic interests in free markets will create more prosperity for more people than can ever be achieved through government regulation and a planned economy. My name is Mike Manahan. I am your host. Thank you so much for joining me on Biz Rap Radio. We'll be back again next week.